How many of you have ever had an idea? Now, I'm going to need you to hear me out because this seems like a bit of a goofy question, but have you ever had an idea for a show or a book or a film or a game or anything of that sort? If you could raise your hands, that would be very helpful. Right. So, how many of you now, second question, have made and produced and published said aforementioned book, game, show, or film? Raise your hands again. Now, to those of you who haven't, what is the reason you haven't? This is my question to you. It's rhetorical. I'm going to be jumping into my talk through. This is sort of the through line or the hook. Now, none of you need to raise your hands for this. So, what I have found is that despite the sheer amount of people who have ideas for art they want to create, most never commit to it. And it's not because their ideas are particularly bad. No, more often than not, the ideas people have are remarkable. So why is it that so many ideas just die? Well, I found there are quite a few reasons, but none so devastating to the potential all you have as fear. You may be asking yourself what exactly I mean, or not. I mean, you guys seem pretty smart. That being said, if you aren't totally sure what I mean, you're in luck. The fear I'm talking about is a fear of the what if. The same what if of rejection, the same what if of doing things like wingsuiting, the same what if of riding a plane, the same what if is the biggest thing holding people back from putting their ideas out in the world. People are scared of failure, of being hated, of having their work be disliked. This causes people to procrastinate at best, putting it off one more day over and over and over again. I felt that same fear day after day, always wanting to make stories and assorted artistic endeavors that people would enjoy, but never getting around to it. It causes people to lock their ideas away, letting them die in silence. That fear of absolute failure is so overwhelming, it's staggering. As you can see from these statistics from just one art school, you'll see there's a bunch of people who just never get to take that leap. There's plenty of people who go to an art school, but just never go and see it through. And even then, there's people who finish the art school, who graduate and all, and then just never see it through afterwards. It's insane, how many people are just not or are too scared to take that leap. In some ways, you can view it as a way to chart success. Bear with me, because you've got the people who did something, who shot in the dark, maybe even expecting to fail and didn't. You've got the people who didn't succeed the first time around, but didn't give up, They get up over and over and over again and will keep getting up until they make it. And then you've got all the people who just never tried. I mean, there's not much time to sit around and wait, Even now, time's ticking, we don't have forever, right? Because humans as a species don't live that long. We live close to 100 years, generally under, and a lot can happen that can end us prematurely. I know that I myself fear my own mortality, and I'm somewhat perturbed by the prospect of just how small we really are. I mean, there's a whole galaxy out there, let alone the universe. There's over 100,000 million stars in our galaxy alone, many with planets and nebulae to boot. We inhabit such a small piece of existence, and then even more, each of us are beyond microscopic in comparison. We're so insanely small, but we each have the chance for greatness through art, writing books, films, making games, shows, etc., plays. We can matter just a little more. Through the wonderful ideas in all of our heads, we can all matter to others, even beyond our immediate interactions, beyond texting people, beyond seeing people on the street, beyond your family and friends. We can matter to someone we might never meet. I'm sure some random person on the sidewalk couldn't care less about you. And why should they? Well, I say we all have value. It may be small now, but through a bit of effort, look at what you can achieve. These are some of the people who, have achieved their goals. I'm just going to run through them. Sarah Hickey runs her own. Sarah Hickey runs her own art business. She is commissioned art, and then she creates it and then sells it to people. Julia Bausenhart runs an art class online and also creates art books. Eva Holland has written a book called Nerve, that came out not too long ago. From what I've heard, it's a decent book. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, though I do intend to. Give that a read. And uh, David Sal is also a relatively famous artist because despite the fact that his art is often seen as controversial, he has found success in that sort of controversy. And so these are a few examples of what I mean. These people have achieved their goals despite all odds. Now, before I get into the last real bit of my talk, though, I will advise the teensiest bit of caution to help you. While you may have a great idea, and I'm sure you do, what can also become a problem uh, is becoming what can also be a problem in becoming something more is the sort of application, the way you apply your idea. What seems to be a bit of a strange assumption, seemingly founded in the fear of ridicule and what ifs, is that when you start your journey, you're alone. This is false. I forgot two. I'm so sorry. These are two people who were at the Hudson School. Pamela Shipley, I believe, left recently, but she also runs a sort of art gallery. And Miss Shorno, Miss Holly Shorno, is also the biology teacher here, as well as an art teacher. And she also has art galleries. But going back to my talk, I'm so sorry that I got distracted there. One of the assumptions is that you are generally alone. It's founded in the fear of ridicule and what ifs that, there's no one to help you. This is objectively false. It couldn't be further from the truth. There are plenty of people to help you whose whole job is to help you and your ideas flourish. Even beyond that, there are places you can go, in person or online, where you can find support and encouragement, camaraderie, and tips for your success. Take a look at any critical feedback you get from these people and places. Obviously, ignore ones that don't give you something to work on, i.e., ooga booga, this is bad because I don't like it, because those don't help you get better, let alone your self-esteem. Find feedback that tells you, oh, I think this can be improved, or this, or this, or this, and use that to give yourself a goal. Find smaller stepping stones on your path to success and relevance, because just shooting for the stars, as possible as it is still possible after you've reached the moon. Just get out there. You're not alone in your pursuit, but you do have to take that first step. With that out of the way, I'd like to finish up by saying, go for it. You have value already, but you can have value to the world in larger chunks if you toss your hesitation to the side and march towards your goals. Cast off your fears and worries and what ifs and the what could be's, and think about what really could be for you, positively, not negatively. Oh, what if everybody hates me? More of a positive, what could I achieve? As you submit your ideas to the world, there will always be people behind you, even if there are people trying to stop you. You are never alone. So get out there and make something that humanity will be proud of. Become more than you are now. Become just a little more relevant to the universe and reach the stars. The world is waiting for you and your potential, contrary to what some may say. There's no time for hesitation or fear. Take the advice I've given, take the advice of others who seek your success just as much as you do, and make something that will be remembered for decades, for years, decades, centuries, or even millennia to come. It's up to you in the end. So don't procrastinate or say, what if people don't like what I've made? Say, what could I achieve? And when will this work out? The world's your stage, so go compete for the lead role. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. After this as well, you will have some more examples of people who have, sort of gone after that, what could I achieve? So please, give them your attention as well. Thank you for your attention.